welcome to my second video ever. I'm glad you stuck around. Today I'm going to be talking about a fun little trip that my wife Haley and I took earlier this month down to DFW, Texas. We wanted to go see two of our favorite bands right now. It was a really fun trip, and so I just wanted to talk about it and show you every single photo that I took on this trip. So without further ado, let's check it out. Before we get into the trip, I want to talk specifically about my camera setup, and I'm sure I'll do a video very soon, a camera review, and some of my thoughts about the camera that I use. But I am currently shooting on the Fuji X-e3. I love this camera so much. It is such a powerful little camera packed into this cute little body. I actually never was intending on getting the X-e3. My original plan was to get a Fuji X Pro one, but the guy that I was buying it from on Facebook Marketplace totally gypped me, and so I ended up getting my hands on an X-e3 instead, and I'm actually really glad that happened, and I'll talk about that in a later video. But I love the Fuji X-e3. It's an incredible camera. The lens that I'm shooting on is my dad's Canon FD 28mm vintage lens. This lens is a really fun lens to shoot with. I love the focal length of 28 millimeters. It's not super tight and super close. It's in between, that 50 millimeter focal length and something wider like an 18 millimeter. I like that sweet spot. I think the equivalent of a 28 millimeter on a crop sensor is 35. I could be wrong, but I love that focal length, and I had so much fun shooting on this lens, giving a lot of my photos that vintage look. And then also, obviously, to shoot that lens on this camera, you've got to have an adapter. So I've got an Earth adapter. I just got it off Amazon. It was like $18. It's an amazing adapter, minimal, looks really clean and simple. And then finally, my camera strap is a Sleepwalk and Matt Day collab. I love Matt Day. I've been watching him for years, and it is the best camera strap I've ever had. So that's all I gotta say about it. This trip was a trip that me and my wife Haley were super excited about, because it just so happened that two of our favorite bands for the past year or two now were touring together and going to be in the same location that wasn't too far away from us. We're actually from Dallas and we live in Oklahoma City now. So we ended up buying tickets because it's only a 3-hour drive. And so, to start the trip, obviously you can't start a road trip without coffee. So we went and grabbed some coffee as a family. Here are some photos from that. And then, this was so funny, about 30 minutes away from our in-laws, my in-laws, who live in Denton, Texas, we were literally about to get to their house, and Haley just decided, you know what? I think I want to get a tattoo at this old tattoo shop that we used to go get tattoos at. And so she eventually talked me into getting a spontaneous tattoo. So here's what she got, and that is the initials of our daughter, Marlo Jane. I love how the tattoo came out. I'm super happy for her. Once we got to my in-laws' house, we had a couple hours to just hang out, catch up, play with Marlo. So obviously I had my camera. I took a couple photos of that time. So it was time to go to the show. So Haley and I hopped in the car, drove an hour through the awful Dallas traffic to make it to the venue in Fort Worth. And here are all of the shots from that show. I was actually shooting for the first time ever with the just stock camera flash that came with my camera. And I was totally winging it, just running and gunning. Had no idea how the photos were gonna turn out. So I'm gonna share all of them with you. And yeah, I haven't touched any of these up. This is just straight from the camera. Some of them are a little dark, some of them I'm actually really happy with how they came out. So check them out. Some of these are really cool. I love the way the flash just made these sweet light leaks. That was totally by accident, but it looks like I did it on purpose. And even some of these of the vocalists of Fiddlehead are so blurry, but I just love the feel of the flash and the black and white during this show. I love the way these photos came out. So the next day, my little family and I decided to head over to the neighborhood pool and hang out, take some photos. And once we got there, we realized the pool was way too nasty to even get in. So that was a very short trip, but I was able to snag a couple photos. And then finally, to end the trip before we headed back home to OKC, we went and saw Haley's dad, Marlo's grandpa, and just got a couple photos at his house. And I really love this final one of Marlo sitting at his office desk and him just smiling. I love my father-in-law's smile in this photo. I think this is one of the favorite photos I took on this trip. I don't know why, it just means a lot to me. I love taking photos of my family, and I think his smile is just perfect in this photo. I love the way it came out. So after that, we headed home, packed up the family, and headed back to OKC, and that's really our trip. It's a super normal trip. We're a normal family. I'm a normal dad, and I just like to take photos. That's the whole point of this channel. And I can't remember if I mentioned at the beginning, but all of those photos have not been touched up. Those are just straight from the camera presets that you can get on Fuji X-e3. And they've got tons of presets for you if you're a Fuji shooter, and I love them. I've had a lot of fun dialing in which ones I like to use, and I've really found two specifically that I use pretty much only, and that is the Acros Push. That's my black and white preset that I use, and then my color preset that I use is just the classic chrome one that is on Fuji X-e3. Both of those I have strong grain on because I love the look of strong grain. I think it makes my photos, at least personally, I just love the film look it gives. The more grain, the better for me. So that's really what I do. It's super simple. My workflow is literally just pulling photos off of my Wi-Fi from the camera, and that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one, where I'm either going to be talking about the Fuji X-e3 or a short little photo walk I just took downtown in Oklahoma City. But whatever that is, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.